in terms of the compositions, and we already mentioned some teasers as to things that we can expect from both of these sides. I think it's going to be such a fun game. I think both teams are going to have a lot of different gears to go to. And with that said, it is time to kick off map 1 of this best of 3 here for the upper finals at Masters 2 Reykjavik between NUTURN and Sentinels. It is going to be very exciting to see how this one starts off. And it's going to be Sentinels on defense. And we're going to have NUTURN on offense.
Yeah, and you're already seeing it, right, Dan? You were talking about dapr, how good it could be as a Viper, putting that wall up on the shower side to delay. So you see the split already coming out from NUTURN, already expecting that it's going to be slightly weaker on that B side, and they had that flash and dash available too. But it's still going to be the duelist working towards hookah, and they're using the utility instead of Sova to clear things up.
And the push actually here is being somewhat dismantled. It's just one prong that remains, which is the long push, but they're starting to disperse. Solo does have the spike on his back, so his teammates can't really leave him out there by himself, and ShahZaM's going to take him down. So actually the spike went through the TP as well. Quite annoying. Yeah, somewhat of a false start here for NUTURN on round 1. Peri and Lakia, I'm not sure exactly what they can do in this position.
Last player standing.
They have no choice, right? If they want to get the spike, they have to go through the teleporter, and now it's just Sentinels. They notice this upper hand. They want to press early. They just want to try to hunt him down. And they want to set the pace quite early, too, to get those immediate 2 kills into hookah to show that, hey, the split, we expected it, even though they had less players. It still comes down to the aim battles, right? TenZ opened up quite well. And Peri, at this point, he's just going to try to build the ult points, build the economy, and just let Sentinels, hopefully he could catch someone a mistake, does get the headshot into dapr, but that's it. Sentinels, they open up the board in this series.
And that means we'll go straight into the anti-eco there. The defenders of Sentinels having the superior economy will be mostly on those SMGs, I'd imagine. But what should we expect here from NUTURN? What do they want to do? Obviously, they did not get the spike planted, so I doubt we'll see a force buy. Never mind.
Ooh.
They are gonna force buy. All right.
and that's something that's... for me, unorthodox, because when you look at the playstyle of NUTURN, they actually just go for a force buy once they get a spike plant down, even if they lose a round. But losing a round, not get a spike plant, and going for a buy, they just want to try to catch up right away. And they only killed 2 players too, right? But you see at the beginning of the round, they're holding a default because of that. That allows a lot of map control, orb control as well for Sentinels, and they hold back on a default. And NUTURN seems to be wanting to just execute and go fast into the short A.
Yeah, Suggest already fired his Spectre, so I think that this is known right now from Sentinels. They know that there's a buy coming through here, and they are going to just absolutely crush this one. NUTURN trying to make their way through the short position. Completely denied by Sentinels, and now it's just a Sheriff and Frenzy remaining now for NUTURN to get some kind of damage in on this round. And really, there's a huge amount of pressure to get damage. They've done no damage so far. Ooh. There's one headshot, a second comes through from Lakia. That is at least something.
We actually do love those caster curses to give a little bit of hope right now for NUTURN on this force buy that they have, and it just shows how an Aster right now could be very detrimental to these explosive plays from NUTURN, right? As they're trying to dash across, you saw those scars came on the ground, Nova Pulse, Gravity Well, it just splits out only to leave Jet allow by himself inside that A site, and it's just an easy picking from an off angle just by towels, by the double backs at the A site for Sentinels. So that foils up the plans. NUTURN couldn't even cross into the site. This should put them on a full eco right now for NUTURN. But at the same time here, Dan, when I'm thinking back as this force buy for NUTURN and Lakia and company, is this on the 4th round, they should still be able to go for like the standard full rifle round. So trying to chip the economy from Sentinels away on that 2nd round was that goal at the same time. But unfortunately, with only 2 kills with the Sheriff, there's still a lot in the hands of Sentinels on this bonus round.
And then we can see that fault line towards showers to gain early showers control for NUTURN.
Yeah, and it's a change of pace, Dan. They have actually a Viper Wall towards this B side instead. So really adding a little bit more utility towards the shower side, leaving showers open, but they're looking to play more passively, right? Playing towards a U-Haul, and they can play the retake on A side as well.
Yeah, this might be a default we see commonly that from them, stun showers, dart long, boombot hookah, and then just sort of hold passively here towards showers. That said, Sentinels are playing very passively because they know that they have such an enormous advantage on the weaponry, that they just should never give peeks to these sheriffs. That's how they lose the round, is by giving a peek up to the sheriff, a headshot. And if that was a headshot, that would be a 5v4 suddenly. You don't want to give those ones up, your Sentinels right now. So they're doing a good job.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, I was talking about this with Paper Thin at the same time, too. The aim train that you have for NUTURN in Korea in general is just try to aim out with the sheriffs in warm-up until you're actually able to hit maybe 20 of them in hard mode and you're ready to go. And speaking of ready to go, they're selling a fake here towards the A side, but still walking the spike towards B.
30 seconds left.
Might be an opportunity here, though. That said, dapr hiding in a forward position here with the judge in hookah. It's going to be quite powerful, but oh, hello, there's a freebie for Solo. That's ShahZaM down. I think that gun is recoverable indeed. Solo's going to pick that one up. Oh, not a good range for the judge, and suddenly it's getting a little hairy here. 2 players in this post-plant scenario, and the spike's going to go down just in the nick of time because these Zombs knows this lineup's there, and Sentinels will try to assault this B site to get control once again. Solo able to get one. There comes the flash. Oh, he's in such a good position here. Solo converts another answer.
No way.
Comes through to finish it off. NUTURN, what a conversion. I don't think Sentinels had any idea.
Would you expect a solo lurk? No pun intended, actually, at that point. Solo went by himself up towards long B, made it all the way to spawn side, and said, we know the Viper wall's there. We know that there's potentially a judge being played from dapr from that previous round. Let's just play the long-range battle. And for him to catch that kill and take the Spectre after, to allow the rest of NUTURN to work towards that B side, was huge. dapr, mid-range with a judge. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. He loses it towards hookah, and that was a much-needed eco for NUTURN, because look at this. The tides have turned. They have the economy advantage for NUTURN side, and Sentinels, it's now Sentinels' turn to be on an eco. But that said, TenZ does have a Marshal. He's playing towards his B side, where NUTURN's looking to hit towards A once again. So you're just, again, trying to hold the economy back, or should I say the utility back on the defender side, and try to have the rotate numbers in the end for Sentinels.
I think NUTURN are trying to indeed just get rid of as much util as they can from Sentinels' defense. And Sentinels, they do, of course, really want to lean as many players towards A as possible, given that that's where they've seen the pressure, but they have no information on B. So for NUTURN to play a slow pace like this really does call many things. The information to know what's going on.
Yeah.
And
Might have worked a bit.
They're just walking back and forth.
Yeah, so ShahZaM, his recon dart came up, he shot it towards long B, and TenZ is still watching hookah long B with the Marshal, so they had the right numbers advantage, and now they're guessing that it's going back towards B, and this is a perfect call.
Yeah, great fall line coming through the epicenter there as well. TenZ trying to... Oh, he actually hit him. I think he leg shotted him there. Lakia and Allow both getting the entries, however, and beautiful stuff. I'm just enjoying very much the use of Breach from NUTURN. I think is one of the most enjoyable things for me watching them play. It's when they bring out the Breach. And
yeah,
it's just a case of holding against these remaining weapons. It should be child's play.
Yeah.
There we go. Sick, trying to do some damage there around spawn. And he'll get taken down for the Prime Gaming Flawless.
And you're right, Dan. Just the amount of fault lines, and that's something that we actually got to witness in North America ourselves once we had Zeta that actually came into North America and was playing that Breach, right? And he even played at some point with 180 ping and was still able to get aces across the board in North America. So now that we have a finer taste of how good he is in terms of the utility with the Breach on different maps such as Split, for example, as well with Cloud9 currently, it now shows how good NUTURN overall are in terms of this flash and dash composition that they came out with, and that it's still very much viable in the scene right now on the Masters 2 stage. So keep an eye out here for Solo, the way that he wants to open things up here for Allow and also for Suggest to get into the sites, right? Because it's not only about the fault line. The fault line dazing TenZ allows Suggest to just satchel charge into the site and open it up as well to find that information. So it's very well done. They're going to continue to activate him that way.
Yeah, huge pressure coming in on towards the A short position again here for NUTURN. They're playing very slow, trying to see if Sentinels are going to do something at the early timings of the round. And normally we would see showers control for NUTURN, but they've actually opted not to go for that. And Sentinels are actually pushing showers and they see nothing. So this is actually going to convince them, possibly, that, hang on, there's nothing going on towards A. They haven't seen anything here for a while. They've got showers control. Why would NUTURN still be here?
And they still have to default right now for Sentinels, because again, another recon dart meanwhile went towards B. But here's the explosion towards the A site. Oh, that's a beautiful flash there coming in to allow ShahZaM to get the kill on Zombs.
Fantastic coordination and team play coming through here, indeed, for NUTURN. 2 players on shower side for Sentinels, though, and you can... Oh, what a call from NUTURN. There is TenZ still to worry about on the site. If they can deal with TenZ, they're in a great position. There comes the spray through. That's good to deal with TenZ. The recon dart sent forward as well to try to take control of the B site. And there's problems all across the map at the moment. It's indeed the spike is on the ground by the TP, and it's being sat on right now. NUTURN have no way to recover it. Lakia is going to go down, and it was a great idea to readjust, knowing that there's 2 players still shower side, but did not work out in the end for NUTURN.
Correct. So as we were talking about that recon dart that was thrown out by ShahZaM towards that fountain side, I don't even think it saw that player from NUTURN at long B. So for NUTURN, they were still playing a slow, defaulty kind of pace, trying to fake, not only get a fake, but a kill on top of that, and force the hand through teleporter to eventually end up inside B. But the fact that, unfortunately for NUTURN, it's a similar story than that pistol round. They dropped the spike, unfortunately, in the teleporter, just very hard to recuperate in the end, and they fall short just because of that. But at least they still have a lot of economy. And we're going back to this defaulty kind of thing now, finally, for NUTURN, where it's a standard boom bot clear out towards hookah, trying to see somebody's playing close inside the area. You see that they're also setting up for a flash and also a fault line to allow ShahZaM to get into hookah at the same time to gain early map control. But then after that, the spike's still down, though. They're still trying to see if Sentinels are going to try to play that hand where sometimes they want to push forward, but Sentinels are not. They still have that 3 players on that A site, 2 towards B, and just the utility from Astra is going to be good enough to try to hold them back.
There's a lot of really great small details here from NUTURN that I'm enjoying, but it looks like we're actually going to get the execute into this A site. The Rolling Thunder is sent through, allowed to try to gain U-Haul control. Sentinels holding their ground so far. ShahZaM trying to stop that with the Showstopper. He's going to trade out Zombs, but it's all on Lakia now against multiple players. It's not going to happen. Sentinels defend 4-2. Now the score in favor of Sentinels with that defense. Man, there are so many small things though that NUTURN are doing well, but yeah, it's tough, man.
It's, you know, they're using the utility to try to force out maybe some players in the beginning by the amount of stuff that was thrown from ShahZaM inside hookah. But the default back, try to take control close into showers. It was a nice paranoia, a self-play from peri to try to come out and win showers, but somehow ShahZaM, sorry, not ShahZaM, but TenZ is towards that shower side. So ShahZaM is playing towards B, ShahZaM's playing TenZ is playing towards B, TenZ is playing towards A. He catches them all the time. He's that first blood coming in for the team right now. So very well read at the same time for Sentinels. It's some nice stuff from NUTURN, but it's always one step ahead for ShahZaM and company.
We have that Viper's pit dropped on short A right now, and NUTURN aren't messing with it whatsoever, just fully committing towards this B side so far. See, the Astra utility is ready and waiting to defend this B side. Question is, will NUTURN go back? They certainly can, and they certainly have the utility to deal with dapr in that Viper's pit.
Correct. Lakia still has his owl drone if they decide to fall back, so if they could waste out the utility out here. So he starts with shock darts just to add presence. That paranoia is going to be huge, but it still seems that they might want to commit at the beginning here.
Whoa, great catch from ShahZaM, taking down Allow as he dashes forward. NUTURN trying to take this B site now, trying to commit forwards, but Zombs is now the person to deal with here. On the Astra, fantastic stuff there from Zombs. Gets 2 kills out of it. But through the TP they'll go right now. Already suggests that. Solo still hanging out by Market. Is going to find himself one sick, using the satchel to try to get backed away quickly. Knows that it's effectively a race to this site. Still has the paint shells. Still has the satchel. Can Sick find the first player? Yes, he can. There goes Lakia. A right click on the paint shell. Sick nails the clutch. 1v2, no problem at all for him. And there's the defuse as well. Sentinels now 5-2.
That's just very nicely played for Sick at the same time as well. You did say here, Dan, that he had the paint shells, but he didn't want to use it right away. He knew that with about 15 seconds left, they might want to commit towards the A site or even go for a straight TP into B, which they still had time to do for NUTURN. But to just let them plant to push aggressively and just to try to catch the first one off guard, knowing that it's going to be a 1 versus 1 no matter what here on this first contact. Lobbing that underhand pain shells, forcing Solo out in an area where he has to play back instead of moving forward because of the radius of the pain shells was just superbly nicely played by Sick to be able to clutch that 2 versus 1. A Red Bull clutch on top of that. This round, NUTURN, it's going to be a force buy coming in, or maybe a half buy, but it's going to be the Blade Storm. So we talked about how they didn't have that much showers control. It's changed this time for NUTURN. They see that there hasn't been a lot going around here towards this shower side. They could maybe commit to it finally, and they open it up with the first kill.
Yeah, Sentinels will hold on to the showers controller with Sick. It actually has the showstopper available as well if he wants to use that, but it is an eco, so might want to try and see if he can hold on to it, but with the fact that they are down a player, it does start to feel quite scary. Ooh, the timing of that one, Sick comes off the angle just at the wrong moment and is forced away.
And that's
He's
already
cutting noise.
Exactly. They're cutting noise, but they're still trying to, again, try to get a pick towards this B side. They could sell a fake in a rotation, but they're still going to work out towards this showers. And that pick was huge. Look how back now Sick is playing. He's playing all the way towards spawn so he can try to rotate faster. And the timing just off that. They might be able to take this A site now for NUTURN.
Picked up the gun there towards showers as well. Sick with the spray, takes them both down. Allows trying to get spacing to trade Solo, but walks into the spray. Unfortunately for NUTURN. Still a 3, well, make that a 3v2 now in favor of Sentinels. 20 seconds to go. They've got to collect the spike. You can see Suggest on his way to do so. Has to ferry that across now to the site to plant. Very limited time here. Sick might be, is he going to satchel through? Oh, he's actually insane. There's the showstopper as well to just seal the deal. Is there time? There's no bodies left alive to carry that spike forward. It's going to be another round in the bag for Sentinels.
Sick has been fundamental there on that hold, on that previous round. Just, again, it was a close shot that he missed from shower side towards the spawn side at the same time at the attacker spawn. But this one right here, just the spacing was a little bit off this time for a NUTURN. They were looking for that fight for Sick. He's using that cover perfectly in front of the APC to even still get a wall bang on top of that. You mentioned that showstopper at the beginning of the round that he used. It was a perfect time for him to hold it back into the final seconds to make sure that he gets his kill here. And it's not too bad, right? It's a 4 versus 2. I don't believe that it's wasted because now you're in round number 9. With the way that Sick's playing, the way that he's holding down towards this A side, and also from time to time where he fights towards the showers. Look at the minimap. They're pinging it already. They're putting some stars. They're putting some control from Zombs at this area where potentially you still want to farm these orbs up from Sick's side. So Sentinels are playing this quite well here where NUTURN, I know they're trying to force these rotations out. They're trying to force the hand, but they're not getting too much out of it so far since these gun rounds came in.
And one quick note as we are here in this tactical timeout from NUTURN is, regionally speaking, the difference in, the whole Vandal versus Phantom debate definitely seems to be that the Vandal's a little bit more popular in Korea than the Phantom, which is definitely, that's in North America, it's Phantom or bust, I feel like.
Oh, man, it depends on the maps. I think for me, I'm both. On a map like Bind, I do love playing the Vandal at the same time, especially on defense. I like playing the headshot from the back of the site to battle out towards hookah area. But then again, this is only diamond play, right? So it's easier picks. At the same time, at pro level, I did see some tweets or some opinions come out that even on land, the Vandal's been looking pretty crispy. So I do see why Suggest and Lakia are kind of using it, right? You see how clutch they've been in the past games. Suggest continues the high percentage of the headshots the way he's playing. Lakia with the clutches that he's had versus version 1, it's been pretty good for them. So I'm not against this mix that they currently have in terms of the rifling for NUTURN. But with now the pause coming back, you see a lot of bodies from NUTURN looking to get this showers control, or sorry, the hookah control once again. Great delay from dapr actually with that snake bite.
Yeah, and the pressure on the hookah is pretty strong for NUTURN this time, actually showing presence directly. They're not just utility, but players. And they have also Peri on the Omen sitting at short A in case Sentinels respond by pushing short, as dapr sometimes plays closer around that position. Nothing doing, though, for Sentinels around that spot, so Peri's going to rejoin the rest of his teammates, which definitely suggests to us this is going to be a committed play here onto this B site. The Sentinels looking ready for it.
Yeah, you have dapr once again. He could slow things down with everything. His whole kit still has a snake bite to run that clock down. It's going to be a last-second hold, but it's off solo that they try to execute into B again for NUTURN.
dapr somehow avoiding absolutely everybody on the site, only to turn around and annihilate 3 players. dapr might get the 4th here. Lakia's going to take down both actually on the site. 30 seconds to go. Grabs the spike. He's out of there. Straight through the TP towards that A side to go for a clutch, a 1v2. There's going to be time to do this. And given the Cosmic Divide, that's actually prevented the sound cues. And Lakia, he may be able to find a 1v1 here. Zombs is close. Lakia turns the corner, but Zombs knows he's got a great timing on that one. The off angle does it, and Lakia's down. Another round in the bag for Sentinels.
And they were ready, Dan. You mentioned it, not only for dapr inside that site, but the fact that he also had 2 more players, one at elbow, one in the back of the site too, just to trade off if needed. But you don't need to trade out if dapr is going to go ham like that. And not only that, yes, they did execute quite well for NUTURN, I like to say. Solo going with the fault line to allow then to bring the Hunter's Fury. It did get a tag actually onto one of the members of Sentinels inside that site. But when dapr pulls up the utility, Toxic Screen and a Viper Cloud, you're already coming in with Decay on top of that, so you're melting down, getting into the site. So anchoring a Viper currently for Sentinels towards this B site, when we usually commend how Viper plays on A side showers, it's been quite strong for Sentinels so far, and they don't want to change things out. It's going to be very similar setups every time for Sentinels because it's working. You want to play your own play style, you don't need to adapt too much for Sentinels, so now you're playing your own game and you're still winning these rounds. Why try to fix things, right?
Yeah, and here comes the Rolling Thunder execution on this A site. Hunter's Fury in response to Jess there with that showstopper, able to take down one. That's U-Haul control in the bag, and finishing another one off with the classic. This is a great look so far from NUTURN. They've got full control of the site. It's a desperate push from dapr through the dark cover. And with that, now it's a 2 versus 4 retake here for Sentinels. It's not looking fantastic for them at all. TenZ will try to bully his way forward, but that drone's going to tag him and he's going to be forced back. This is a very bad look indeed for ShahZaM and TenZ as they make their way forward. NUTURN not overstepping, not overplaying their positions. Nice headshot angle there from Solo. Catches ShahZaM as he drops down. And now TenZ will try to farm with the Reyna. Won't be able to defuse the spike at this point, but maybe he can make it hurt on the way down.
Oh, it's looking that way. Ooh.
Okay, just 2 extra kills ultimately, but that's pretty decent.
I agree, because at the same time, you saw, yes, it was a 4 versus 2. Technically unwinnable here for Sentinels, although we know the players that we have on paper for this roster, but you're just trying to make things expensive this time for NUTURN, because you know they've been on these force buys. You know they've been on the half buys too, that they're just trying to string as many rounds as they can on the attack. And on the side of Sentinels, look at the history. They've won 5 rounds in a row. The economy's still very good, so you're just trying to make things and chip down the economy down on NUTURN's side. Look at that. They won the round and they still come out with 3 Spectres only. But they are fighting strong for NUTURN inside the showers, and it's been denied by the gravity well and pain shells to come out from Sig just to push them further back.
Yeah, great movement there from Sentinels to deny that. NUTURN, I think, you know, they're in a position now where they need some control of something. They don't have hookah control, they don't have be long, they don't have showers. They really need something to come back into their control here. And it looks like Sentinels are never giving up showers. It's going to require a pretty big investment for NUTURN to take this away. NUTURN are just holding though. They're just waiting it out so far.
Yeah. They still have the pain shells coming out. They're waiting for the recon to come out for Lakia at the same time too. Looks like it's just been used inside showers just so they can take a push, allow up here. So they have regained control a bit off not much utility after the initial fights towards showers. So this is actually pretty good for them to try to creep up. But looking at it from this minimap, looking to be another slow default for NUTURN. Try to force out a rotation with this dark cover inside the B side. Dapr's already making his way there after the snake bite. But after a 3-player stack still towards this A side, it's going to be very difficult. And we see something very similar for NUTURN again. A fault line, and Alau's probably going to try to come in after a flash.
Yeah, great off angle here from TenZ as well. He's going to catch Allow. Perfect timing from TenZ as he reads the situation beautifully well. And he's looking to get more here, but NUTURN actually able to convert some frags. Sick! Still doing damage from Uhorse up to solo, and he's just too slow for that one. dapr swings around the side with the Spectre to close things out in this round. Another one here for Sentinels.
Very well played there with that stack. And my apologies, when I was talking about the 3 Spectres, I had my teams messed up, actually. So it was actually a buy coming in from Sentinels at that point, too. And putting those numbers in for Sentinels did work quite well on the back of how Sick has been playing towards this U-shaped hallway. So with that, the run and gun, very strong for that Spectre close range here. And the Sentinels are just capitalizing on these rounds. I'd like to see a little bit more right now from NUTURN of just like maybe exploding into these sites. Playing these defaults have been working a little bit here just to at least get the spike down, but they're losing a lot of bodies right now at the same time when they're trying to force these rotations out. I think, again, leveraging how Solo plays with his utility to enable maybe a double duelist to get into the sites, they could come out with something on top later on.
On the Viper's Pit on A short again from dapr. Previously, when dapr did this, NUTURN just went for a full B play, just a split B, and it was just pretty straightforward. I wonder if we'll see something different here, because we do have showers control here for NUTURN. Will they just try to go around dapr, or will they try to go through him? There are 2 players still around B, which may try to sell something. Peri's there as well, so 3 around B here for NUTURN. There's the Hunter's Fury. It's going to track Zombs. Is he going to finish this one off? Absolutely. Zombs is down. Lakia. What damage from him. 2 quick kills opening this one up. And now Allows made his way in from showers. It's just devolved into pure chaos here in this round. dapr could be the man to maybe bring some sense of this one. Able to take down Solo, but the trade's through.
Spike down A.
And now TenZ is alone, so very odd round, I have to say, but it works out nicely for NUTURN.
Yeah. We were talking about the default force to rotate. I think off that Hunter's Fury, and even on top of that, I like the idea of ShahZaM pushing down towards long B to try to catch Lakia off guard when he's actually pulling out the Hunter's Fury. But to be able to get a flick shot, it was definitely off camera, but probably was a flick shot coming in from Lakia. That was actually just a call for NUTURN, just to try to get into this A site. It all came down to dapr at the same time, but to be able to have good positioning from Allow and from Solo to trade that off right away and secure the round on a low buy, it's at least something that's positive to end the half for NUTURN.
Yeah, this is a great result, man. Such a good defense there from Lakia. Able to catch the punish attempt. And 4 rounds, it's definitely workable. And again, something that's been so fun in the past to watch from NUTURN and teams like Vision Strikers and teams from this region is what they're able to do with a breach on the defense. Flashing the jet in. There's a lot of really cool stuff, and we might see something like that here towards long on B.
Especially when it's 2 players out there, right? It's not only going to be Allow, there's potentially coming it down with Suggest at the same time, but Zombs is waiting for it. So they didn't go for a flash. They played for a contact. They're playing for a lot of bodies. Super passive play for Sentinels, and they know that the A site's weak now. dapr is already inside the A site.
They're not sure if Uhor's under control, though. They will slowly try to clear things, but NUTURN actually still towards Fountain here on B, so they still have a ways to go.
Oh, they're gonna.
So this might go down to the last second here, Bansily.
Yeah, but it's just going to be so many bodies watching that fight. They might be able to catch Zombs. Okay, he was able to come out of faster form just on time. So a perfect crossfire setup towards short A here, Den.
Uh-oh, it's looking very dangerous here for ShahZaM. Sending out the shock darts, the snakebite will delay things somewhat. The fault line and the paint shells absolutely own. There's nothing he can do about that. TenZ and dapr left standing, doing the damage here. They don't know about TenZ. And he's going to be able to heal off of that kill and finish the job. Sentinels closing it down. NUTURN, they were off to a great start there, but Sentinels right now are the team that just seem to be closing time and again.
Yes, it's just difficult there for NUTURN. Yes, they had the numbers advantage or at least a lot of bodies to set up for these trades, but when you're playing with less information of what's happening inside the site, you've already lost your Sova as you're rotating across. You're just trying to go for these peaks, and sometimes you're guessing a 50, you're guessing the wrong angle. TenZ is waiting there. Sentinels had a perfect crossfire setup on the first get-go, but still having TenZ as the third player anchoring from the U-shaped hallway after the pulse plant has just been a little bit easier there for Sentinels to guarantee that round. Beginning of this round, though, there's been a lot of utility being thrown from Sentinels inside that showers. Gravity well in the recon dart, and that forces two players of NUTURN to just stick down towards shower. So they're not playing with too much information to push it down towards Sands, though. And it's going to be, actually, sorry, it's Sick going back. So it's just going to be a slow play for Sentinels right after that.
The A-short push comes through, though. dapr is waiting for a beautiful angle on this one. Oh, actually gets spotted, and they might be able to finish him off here, and that would be a great result. He is proving to be quite troublesome, and TenZ is there for support, so NUTURN will get cleaned up after all is said and done. 10-4 now. Sentinels with quite a nice lead, but we will be going into the first buy rounds here for NUTURN, and so this is where the comeback starts. If there is to be one, it needs to get started right here.
So twice that NUTURN tried to go with the contact play with the pistols. First time on long B, second time just to try to see if they could run for a double peek down towards short A, but super passive play from Sentinels after the initial utility that was thrown towards shower side to really funnel them towards trying to get information elsewhere, and they were greeted by TenZ with that bulldog. Early jump peek coming out from Lakia just to see if there's going to be any presence there. They hear the boombot coming out from Sick, though. And Sentinels are looking to gain the early map control on this split, but dapr lurking on his side at short A.
Yeah, dapr's pretty deep here. He's going to actually just dip completely through the TP. He'll go. NUTURN quite well set up here to defend the B sides. Solo baiting for Allow there. Scary position to be in, but as Jet definitely answers. A nice splash coming through from Solo. Lakia spots the second one. Big pickup though. Allow will finally go down in hookah, and the push comes through to completion on this B site, especially with Lakia going down. And again, it looks good at the offset for NUTURN, but quickly turns around.
I just love it for Sentinels here, Dan. They don't want to give NUTURN any type of pacing early at the beginning of the round. It was perfect to start things off with the flash to allow Lakia to get that kill, but as soon as they lose a player for Sentinels at long B, they double swing into hookah to overpower Allow and just open up the B side after that. So you're losing a player towards long B for the defense. Solo's by himself here towards the B side as well, and Sentinels just plays a numbers advantage. And unfortunately here for Suggest, it is going to be a save for him, and Sentinels will be moving up to an 11th round. And it looked good at the beginning, but they still don't have an answer when Sentinels actually execute into the site. And you still have to be careful for dapr, though. The way that he's continuing to lurk like that, they're controlling the pace quite well.
Yeah, definitely. And it was an interesting approach, too, seeing that they sort of split the defense across hookah and long, and really relying on the breach utility to allow a good defensive option. But yeah, just look at how Sentinels just come through so methodical on their push. When they decide to go in, they are looking really strong.
Just going to continue to condition now some early presence from Sick from this sand side into hookah. A little bit of a change though for NUTURN. You're playing now breach inside the hookah area. A 3-player stack from NUTURN on the A site. But still, with what's being thrown at the beginning here for NUTURN, they don't get that much information out of that.
Sick just holding position there. Meanwhile, Suggest has managed to win the battle towards A short. dapr had been getting pretty aggressive there. And we might see Sentinels now down to 4 players start to group up. Sick is making his presence known towards B long, so definitely the option to go onto this B site shortly here for Sentinels. In fact, Sick is going to creep up. He's just going to contact his way through. And he might find his way backside. Oh my god, he's going all of the way here. Sick with an extremely forward position. They have no idea about this one. How deep will he go? Is he going to try to actually get into spawn? He's going into spawn. He's going all the way. Solo, though, from up top, from up high in Hookah, able to deal with Zombs, at least. It's very odd. 6 still in spawn. They have no idea. Or Peri. Well, now they know. And there goes Lakia. Is he actually going to be able to get the stick here? 6 coming. He's going to have to do his best to get there in time. I don't know if he can make it, though. Lakia has almost diffused it entirely, and there it is. There's nothing that Sick can do. What a strange round. Players in all kinds of weird positions.
Yeah, it seems as though Sick was doing pretty much what Solo was doing on that first half, right? Just creeping up towards that long side, and you see that Solo, the same way that dapr kind of played inside that hookah, they kind of just wanted to leave it behind and play the retake later on, and using that judge as they did. Both players having that judge inside that hookah in that round, they just wanted to make sure somebody's going to split towards the sand side for the opponent's side, they could stop it. But as he turns around to be able to get the backstab onto Sentinels with the classic kill, it shows that Sentinels, yes, they got the ground before inside the spawn way, but they actually should have checked the back inside hookah, knowing that somebody should be playing there eventually. But this round here, gravity well. Yeah, it's an early long B control, some DK or some debuff happening at the same time as Lakia gets pulled into gravity well. But look at this aggressive push out hookah here, Dan.
Yeah, there it goes, the showstopper. That's going to deal with Solo. And in comes Lakia to try to do something here, but the timing is really bad for NUTURN on this one. Sentinels picked the perfect moment. Very well played.
Planted.
Peri in the back halls there would suggest not a lot to be done at the moment, especially with the smokes down. But yeah, that gravity well, it completely blew up the NUTURN's aggression on long. And because of that, they were then just caught in a really awkward timing. So especially those Astra gravity wells, man, they're something to deal with.
They've definitely been quite strong because at the same time too, you're showing a body down towards that long B, so you think there's going to be a little bit more presence there, so you're still fighting for NUTURN. Again, Sentinels down long B, but hookah was left out open. So to have Sick come in with the showstopper to open things up, knowing that the gravity well, knowing that there was presence there too from Lakia on that initial battle, then it's just an easier kill coming in through. With what, 3 players I think that came out towards that hookah side. Definitely hard to hold there for NUTURN on the defense. And unfortunately, this now puts Sentinel at map point in the series.
Yep, they're in a great position here to clinch the first map. Take it away from NUTURN in this best-of-3 series. And we get a tactical timeout coming from a NUTURN. Definitely wise. If you have it, you're in a difficult spot. Definitely a good chance, or a good time to use it, I should say. The question is really, you know, what would they want to change? Because these gravity wells are really difficult in terms of... Because NUTURN wants to get aggressive right at the get-go, but the gravity wells just blow it up, really.
And they've done it with just Solo playing with the flashpoints to have Lakia peek out right after. But when that happens and you're being pulled in by the gravity well, you can't really get out and get that early surprise attack. So I think you're going to have to force the hand and play a little bit more passively at this point. But if you're playing more passively, Sentinels has done a great job just to be on the set executes to just overtake the site. The retakes have been working as well either. And I think this is what the second tactical timeout that NUTURN's used, right? So they don't have any more left for the map. So you don't only need to focus into this round of course, you have to focus into this round because losing this round, you lose the map, but you have to also think 2 or 3 rounds ahead. How can you now start anti-stratting, understanding how Sentinels currently plays? And outside of those gravity wells towards long B, that's just one of the hands that's being shown by Sentinels. They didn't need to show that much on their attacker side either. So maybe try to eliminate dapr. They've done a good job so far playing that short A side and eliminate dapr's lurk. But right after that is how to readjust after for NUTURN. Again, you might have the numbers advantage and play that retake after finally.
But one thing that's NUTURN have to their advantage here is also the Rolling Thunder and the Hunter's Fury, both available, and there's no ults available for Sentinels. So that could be one of the ways in which they get back here. It's just about figuring out a way to get into a setup where you can use both of those effectively. And Sentinels are going to be spreading out. In fact, we're going to get a very early Hunter's Fury coming through. Trying to hide it by starting it low and then bringing it up. Zombs will evade the killing blow of the Hunter's Fury. But that is some early information, at least, for NUTURN.
But unfortunately, it's already being surrendered with this Aldron going back towards Hookah, right? So you did get a ping onto Zombs, but after that, now you're falling back into sight. You're trying to reaggress, but as that Aldron comes up, you had Sick walk in, and that's an early kill, a great way to start things off for Sentinels. It's evened up on a 4-4 right after, though, but Sentinels are still looking to team up and work towards his B site.
So Jester's actually making his way over as well. Might find a timing. Has the Vandal too. Going to be key in converting the kills here and holding Hookah, which he will do successfully. Allow comes in. Out the TP. dapr with the trade though. And that is the spike. Recoverable there for dapr. He'll grab that one and ferry it back to safety. Back to TenZ. To the A site. But the question is, where is the A site player? I think TenZ has somewhat of a read here. TenZ is going forward and clearing showers, but Peri's walking all the way around. Peri could catch a perfect timing here onto dapr. Oh, it was close. Paranoia comes through. He knows he can dive through the snake bite. He knows that the time pressure is on here for Sentinels. dapr has to go forward and plant the spike. Suggest could make a play to try to deny it. And there is the peak from TenZ. It's up to Peri in the 1v2 to keep NUTURN alive in this map. It might be overhead just here unless Peri can come up with something. And we'll hear the stepping that Peri's making. They will have a read of his position. Peri using the time that he has. Has to walk through the toxic screen. It doesn't feel good here for Peri. I think it's fully fueled up as well. Bleeding all the time from the clock of Sentinels until finally TenZ will finish off Peri. And that is the first map in the bag for Sentinels. Great performance from them. I think we saw many dangerous rounds from NUTURN, but Sentinels always looked strong in the face of those